All of the early mornings and late nights,
coming home after an exhausting hunt,
putting in all the extra work, even when people aren't watching.
and just wanting to crawl into bed, but you sit down and you clear your SD cards and you organize your footage.
It's all the little things and all the things that add up to be successful.
And you pack your bag for the next morning just to lug in another 50-pound bag just at the chance.
It allows me to go out there and do what I love and show everyone that just being an average person, you can put in a little bit of extra work or a lot of extra work and you can get something out of it.
The chance of sharing a story like the stories we're about to share.
Really, you can pretty much do whatever you set your mind to as long as you grind. Today's May 30th, a couple days after my birthday, and we're starting to see a lot of velvet bucks out here running around, and it's time to start putting trail cameras out. So I got some trail cameras in the bag, and coming into the property where we killed Crazy 8 last year, got a couple other bucks that we're going to be keeping our eye on this year. So I'm going to set a couple of cameras out today. This area that I'm in right now, as you can see back behind me, there's a ton of ash trees and they all have emerald ash borer. They're all dying. So this whole area right here is really going to have nothing for mature trees, which is going to make it hard to hunt for bow season. But back behind me, up behind all these dead ash trees here, there's a hillside with a bunch of oak trees and other trees that we could possibly hang stands in. So, I mean, youth season, it might be an opportunity, and we can still probably hunt this stuff this year, but a lot of these trees are going to start coming down here in the next couple of years. We're gonna have to figure something out. But we're just pulling up here on the first little mineral site that I have, and we're gonna put a camera up on this one. So we'll get that done here. So the way that I set this camera up right now, I got it pointing right at the mineral site there, and I have it up here higher on the tree because, as you saw, we just picked a lot of this grass and tried to get rid of it, but it's going to grow right back. So if we can keep this camera up higher, that's just going to give it more time to stay up above that grass and shoot pictures towards where the deer are going to be. And on top of that, when the grass even gets tall, it might be high enough where it'll still take decent pictures. But you don't want to put your cameras down low in the summertime and then have the grass growing up above the camera in a week, and then you don't get any good pictures. So yeah, just tuck that back in there, turn this thing on, and we're ready to go. All right, just counting down. Make sure it's lined up on one side. Yeah, so that's trail runs right here. That camera is basically pointing right at it. Make it a little bit more level. Yeah, there we go. So basically when this deer is walking down the trail, its head is going to be right in here, roughly, and that camera is pointed right at it. It's up off the ground, up above the grass, and it's underneath this apple tree to where I don't think a lot of grass is going to grow in the first place. But yeah, good trail coming through here. I like the looks of that. Get this thing all wrapped up in here and that should work. Okay, so we just got back to the food plot. If you guys were watching last year, this is where we had a bunch of pictures and videos of Crazy 8 in this food plot here. He was living close by. So, as you can see back behind me, there is a lot of weeds in here, but there's a ton of clover, absolute ton of clover. I mean, the weeds are poking up through it, but I mean, there's plenty of food in here for the deer, and I just started this last year and planted it, and there really wasn't a ton of weeds in here, but there also wasn't a whole lot of clover in here. This year, right when all the snow melted and stuff, the clover popped right up and started growing, and now there's a ton of clover. It's getting really thick, and I'm just gonna keep on probably reseeding it here for a couple years in a row, just trying to get that clover to grow better. But I'm hoping next spring the clover really, you know, takes off right off the bat and it kind of chokes out those weeds. But I don't know, this is kind of just my project plot. Can't really get equipment in here or anything, so you know, just doing what I can with it. I'm not putting a ton of work into it, but I'm happy with how much clover's in here, even though, like I said, there is a ton of weeds. There's plenty of clover for the deer to eat. So we're gonna get the Lone Wolf camera set up here, get that thing running, get some good videos of some velvet bucks coming and eating off this mineral site, and hopefully we can get a good video of crab claws before he gets his full rack, and then obviously I hope he sticks around and turns into a big one. But it looks like they've definitely been in here and they've been tearing it up, so get this camera set up and come back and check it here in a few weeks. So we can see what the camera's pointing at. I'm gonna get it so that basically right there you can see it. I'll try to get out of the way. Yeah, that mineral site's gonna be on the left hand side of the screen. You can pretty much see the whole food plot, but it's nice. I can connect to the app. I can make the camera face right where I want it. We're gonna have that thing right there because that's where it's probably gonna pick up the most amount of deer and be able to see the most amount of the food plot. All right. Just getting this last camera here turned on and we're gonna get out of here. We got 5 cameras up now on this property, and this has been our best property for the last few years. So put the most of our cameras out, and then we're just gonna put a couple at every other spot. Currently I have 10 cameras. I got rid of 2 of them and I'm gonna get a few more, so I'm hoping to be running right around 15 cameras every year. And I mean, it's not a ton, but you know, it's enough to be able to have eyes on all the properties that I'm hunting. And you know, if you get way too many cameras, it's a lot of work and just a lot of time checking them and trying to keep up with everything. So I feel like about 15 is plenty for one person, and the amount of stuff that I'm hunting, I mean, I don't want to have too many options. Every year all the stuff that I'm hunting is good, so I'm basically just trying to find a couple big bucks and trying to figure out where to spend my time. So I'm gonna get this thing set up here, get out of here, and move on to the next spot. Liking what I see. Gonna get this thing going. So I got 5 of these. These are Browning trail cameras, and they have some different quality cameras. I don't even remember what one this one is, but yeah, I got a variety of them, and I haven't even noticed the difference between any of the different ones. This thing, it can shoot on video mode, but I always just run it on the picture mode because it'll last a lifetime. I mean, I've had cameras last all year without changing out the batteries, and they're super easy to use right now. You turn it on, it starts the countdown, close it up, and it's taking pictures. So yeah, I don't know, we're gonna have to keep an eye on this. I'm liking what I see so far, and I mean, you can see a lot of deer tracks right here, a really good trail coming out into that stuff that I'm pretty sure is a food plot that they planted. So I don't know, we'll have to keep our eye on it. My tree stand's just right there, so this is a really good spot, and I'm gonna turn this camera on and come back and check it in about a month or so and see what's on it. But they're perfect height, coming kind of at a diagonal angle on this trail, that way when they're walking by, got a little bit of time to flash. I don't really like to set the cameras facing perpendicular to a trail where the deer are going like this, because then they're going to be crossing and it's just a short time frame. If they're, you know, constantly walking, they don't stop, that camera's going to get to take a picture. And also, if you're pointing straight down the trail, then the camera might take a picture when the deer's really far away or when it's really close, and you get a really close-up blurry picture, and then right when it's right in that perfect spot, you don't get a picture. So setting the camera kind of at a 45-degree angle on the trail usually gives you a perfect shot all the time. Well, we're out here tonight. It's the middle of June, and it's been a few weeks since we put the cameras out. I'm probably going to leave most of them out for a couple more weeks, and I actually have a couple that I haven't set yet, and I'm hoping to get a few more and set those out too. So I wanted to get all these ones out as fast as I could and get these bucks right when they started growing, and we've actually seen quite a few bucks here the last couple weeks, and tonight we've seen them. They're out. Unfortunately, I'm going to do this right before dark. I don't like to do this, check cameras right before dark when the deer are out, but this is one of those cameras that it's over a mineral site and it's on video, so the camera probably is either going to be dead now or at least really low on battery. So we're going to sneak in there, change the batteries on it, change the chip on it, and see what's been in here. Like I said, probably go around and check these other cameras here after a couple more weeks and get those other ones set out. And yeah, I mean, we've seen one big buck on the way here, so the antler growth is starting to get there, and I'm excited to see what's on there.
Pre-ripe apples. Best apples there are. Oh yeah.
We just got to the next property here, and we're gonna go start to do some work. Got to do some weed whacking around some of these trail cameras and stuff like that, just to get the grass down, change the batteries, change the chips and stuff like that. So we just got off the road here and we're walking down this fence line. Now right back here behind me is actually where I killed Crazy 8 this past year with my bow, and he ran across the field and jumped back into the CRP, and I was on his blood trail but never found the arrow. So as we're walking back here, I'm just walking, not really paying attention, and Caitlin, she found my arrow laying on the ground, broken into 2 pieces. Found both pieces of it, but that's pretty cool. That thing's been laying there for what, like 6 months now? Something like that, or 7 months?
And they even planted this field here too with crops. So.
Yeah, the field is already replanted with beans, and yeah, the arrow is just laying right here along the fence line. Caitlin found it laying there and got my arrow back, the one that I finished Crazy 8 off with. So second time I shot him. That's pretty cool. That kind of makes the day right there. But I'm gonna go back here and keep going, get this stuff knocked out. The last spot that we're gonna do today. So So we just got back here to the first camera, and as you can see, there's a lot of grass that had grown up here. We kind of picked some of it, patted it down when it wasn't this thick, but brought the old weed whacker today. We're gonna get rid of a bunch of it here. I got one other camera. I'll probably have to do this again too, but just got to get rid of some of this grass, that way I can get good pictures, and we'll switch out the chips and the batteries. All right, guys, so we just got back here to the mineral site in the food plot, and we're gonna switch out the batteries on the Lone Wolf camera and probably look at the pictures here. I don't have an extra chip to switch out, so we're just gonna check the pictures, get the pictures off right now, and be kind of nice. We get to see what's on here right now, and then we'll put that back in there and get on our way. What we're dealing with right here is just kind of an old road that used to go up into the field up here. They never mow this or anything anymore, so the deer move through here. You can see I kind of weed whacked the tops off of some of this stuff, got it real down, or really nice and low up there, and I got my camera up there on the tree facing right where we're at right now. There's a good solid trail that comes right through here. It's pretty grown in right now, but the deer definitely use it this time of year. We see a lot of deer up in this part of the property. So this is my last camera that I got for the day, and I just pulled the card on it. We're gonna go check things out, see what we got on that card and the other one that we pulled out of the other camera here. And that's pretty much a wrap for checking cameras for this time around. But we'll be back at it again here in about a few weeks, or probably about the 1st of August. I'll go through and start checking them again. But we're gonna get home and check this thing and see if we got anything big on it.